Here is my top 5 under 5 for this month. Coming in at number 5 is Elizabeth Jane Corbett's The Tides Between. It's a story set in 1841 and immigrants are coming across to Australia on a ship. The whole novel is set on a ship and really highlights the vulnerability and the fragility of the situation there. It includes outbreaks and childbirth and all the terrifying things that would be happening on a ship, and it gives a real sense of what these people went through to come for a better life, or the hope for a better life. Beneath all of this is a beautiful story about the importance of storytelling and how it reflects your life and how it can change your life for the better. And it centres around a Welsh couple, and there are lots of Welsh legends and tales within. A beautiful novel, beautifully written, and you will love the characters. Highly recommend. Number 4 is The First Third by Will Kostakis, a fantastic story about growing up as a Greek man and his family and their traditions. What I really loved about this book was Styx. He was one of his best mates, the main character, and not only was he struggling with many challenges in life, he had cerebral palsy, and it struck me that there weren't a lot of characters that had been depicted in this light before, and I thought that it was good that this text was trying to represent a wide range of people. It's sad, it's funny, and it's an amazing read. And here's The Lebs by Dr. Michael Muhammad Ahmed. When I spoke to him about this novel, we talked about his original manuscript forming the basis of his PhD, and it was such an incredibly rich and complex discussion about Australian culture and being Muslim in our country and what that means and how we move forward. It's a compelling read. It might shock you in places, but it's a story that really needs to be told and a story that we need to read so we can move forward as a nation. The Lebs, amazing. And this one is Two Wolves by Tristan Banks, a really engaging read that I think would engage young readers and even reluctant readers. It's really intense, it's really action-packed, but it doesn't take away from the complexity of the characters and really likable characters. It's from the perspective of a young boy and his sister, and at the end we love them both, and it's a real story about who you are and who you are. It's a really interesting story, highly engaging, and it will keep you on the edge of your seat the entire time. Highly recommend Two Wolves. The Hangman by Jack Heath. This was definitely a standout for me this month. I read it in probably just over 24 hours, and you can see it's quite a giant book, but it was so engaging. I really liked the character, Timothy Blake. He's one of these complex villains who does these horrible things, but throughout we hear his backstory, and it's woven throughout the story, and he makes some really bad decisions, but he also makes some decisions that show that he's not completely a monster. And when we hear about his backstory throughout, we kind of understand, and we think, and it makes us think, if we were put in these situations, what kind of person would we be? It's an incredible read. You'd love it if you love Dexter, or if you just love those complex characters who aren't quite villains, but they kind of are, because they do some horrible stuff. Lots of gore, but definitely not gratuitous, because it's a really complex read and the character is just incredible. You want him to find peace in the end, no matter what you read about what he's done. A fantastic read, The Hangman. Probably my favourite for this month.